Hey, everybody. It's Marty Bahama. Welcome to the Buzz Formula Podcast. This is our 22nd Buzz, another interview with Tim McGee. So, Tim McGee, let's talk about the Buzz Formula and what it's done for you.
Wow. Well, it's been amazing. Really, in many ways, you and the Buzz Formula saved my life in many ways. I was investing in real estate. I purchased a coaching program back in 2016. I invested about $84,000 into a real estate investing business, and 50 grand of that was into a coaching program. And immediately it started paying off. I'd hit the financial home run of my lifetime and things were going amazing. I mean, it's like nothing could stop me except something called a 17-month divorce, which I was not ready for at all. And unfortunately, you're not thinking straight when you have a divorce. Nobody is. And I had to sell everything. Matter of fact, when I met you, I was networking online with people in real estate, because that's what you do when you do that, trying to figure out what I was going to do next, because I had to shut down the business, sell everything. And I was 12 months into the 17-month divorce. I didn't know how much longer it was going to go, if I was going to have anything left, what was going to happen. And I friended you. You called me the next day, and within 5 minutes, you were offering me a job. And I was like, I kind of need something right now. And long story short, you and Christy happened to be coming up to the Gallatin branch a couple of days later. And I met you guys there, and I've been with you ever since.
And that's been in, gosh, when was that?
That was November 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I officially started in January. And the best thing I ever did was I was talking to other loan officers, and Corey Goforth was asking him for some tips. And he said, man, I went down there and spent some time with Marty and shadowed him. And I thought, that sounds like a great idea. And I called you and you said, yeah, come on down. So I ended up spending about 3 weeks there on and off over the next month, right before Christmas and then right through the Super Bowl. Remember when I was there for the Super Bowl? And it was the best thing I ever did, because no experience as a loan officer. So there was so much to learn, but you focused on showing me the Buzz Formula, and teaching me that. And I got to know you, we became friends, but that really, really helped me get off to a good start. And as you know, within 3 months, you were offering me the Gallatin branch, because I was bringing in so many applications, just following what you had shown me with the Buzz Formula. And I wasn't even doing it perfectly, but it was so powerful, so powerful. If you follow the steps exactly, you won't be able to handle the business. I can't remember exactly how good I was doing, but enough to where I had all these applications coming in. You were impressed enough and liked me enough to, offer me the branch. And long story short, from the first month I've started, the only problem I've really had was having more applications and more business than I have time to get back with, which is a good problem to have. It's been the most flexible job I've ever had, the most freedom I've ever had in a job. Get to work when I want, take off when I want, the best money I've ever made in the job. And it really turned things around for me, because I was really, actually 2 weeks before I met you, I was praying for a miracle. And then I ran into you, and it just really all worked out. And I bought this beautiful house. This house would be about 600 grand in Nashville, but I'm only about an hour away from Nashville. And I was able to buy this house basically with $35 out of pocket, because I got a USDA loan, and they paid more than it covered my down payment, my earnest money deposit. So the only thing out of pocket for this house was $35 for a.
That's amazing. That is too amazing.
Yeah.
So amazing. And the fact that you come to work with us, you brought on a bunch of people. You started recruiting for us too.
Oh, that's
And
another story.
you have recruited for many of our branches now.
Oh, no, let me tell you how that works. So I knew I needed to hire for my branch, right? But I was so passionate about it because I knew every time I talked to somebody, I knew what this job could do for them because it was a lifesaver for me, right? It was a perfect timing. And I really wish I would have known about this industry when I was 18 because I would have started then. But, and that's why I've been able to recruit so many people because, you know, they can just tell, you know, because I've got to sell them on the fact to come in here, straight commission job, no experience, you know, the license money up front and everything. But I'm able to transfer that vision to them about what they can do in here because I know what it can do. It can do what it did. It does. I mean, Neil,
Oh yeah.
$40,000 a month. He's going to do that all the time. And the only reason he wasn't doing it before is because he was focusing on, you know, training. But anybody can do that.
That's some
by
crazy,
following
yeah,
the buzz formula.
crazy numbers, you know, putting those kind of numbers up. And now granted, you know, Neil is superstar, obviously, and he's got some good support, you know, having Rachel there, being able to process for him like she is, you know,
Absolutely.
that's a big plus, you know, just like
Yeah.
you using our Knoxville processors and they got to where they're clicking really well and getting these loans closed, you know, but just taking it to a different level too. We know for sure, you know, you figured out how to find the loans out of these Facebook groups. There's no question. As a matter of fact, I do appreciate every time you post, you always say, "Hey, it was from a buzz post.
Yeah.
Got a contract in, 700 credit score," and you confirmed too that even, you know, in the real estate industry, obviously you said a minute ago, this is commission only, and one of our hardest problems, we've solved it, and that's finding clients. But also too, you found plenty of high credit scores on Facebook, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, a lot of people don't even know what their credit score is.
Yeah.
You know, and just being able to get out there and post, bringing the clients in nonstop, and then all of a sudden you flipped it to where, you know, and in matter of fact, Neil's the one who even said, you know, Tim was probably one of the best recruiters I've ever seen. He's bringing in people right and left. You need to get him recruiting for all the branches.
Yeah.
And it was like the best thing ever because now all of a sudden I'm seeing these emails, and you know what the emails I'm seeing? That's the ones where you're linking them straight to Jim over at My Mortgage Trainer, you know, and they're signing up for their class and taking that test. And now look, we've got, I mean, we still haven't broke 100 members in our group yet, but we're getting close.
92. But here's the thing, that's with me just putting a small amount of time into it. I'm putting more and more into it. But honestly, it's really just the passion. It's because what we have is so powerful. I'm able to transfer that to people and more people, you know, will jump on. I know that's it because it's not like I have a lot of professional recruiting training or anything like that at all. But I just know what it can do for them, and they can feel that, you know what I mean? You said that a long time ago. You've got to, you know, sell, if you can sell the vision, but I wasn't trying to do it. I was just doing it. You know what I mean? It just kind of fell into my lap, and it's really all, and, you know, I got to give you credit, Marty, and also Christy, because you guys put all this together, but it's so powerful what we have. I mean, you know, you can have a post go out there, and I've had them go from post to contract within, I think the quickest one was like 6 or 7 days, you know, from post to contract. And I've had it go from post, was like a $315,000 loan. And I taught Phyllis how to do the buzz formula, and she posted it, did a showing that week, got a contract the next week, and the guy closed within 45 days or something like that. It was crazy.
And that was from, I mean, would you agree that this is one thing is 100% mobile, and this is kind of what your fingers are doing. You
Absolutely.
know, you're just making a couple little posts. I mean, I told somebody this the other day. I said, now let's think about this. How hard is this? You know, how much work are you honestly doing, and how long does it honestly take? You know, and I know you've been probably the number one buzz supporter out of everybody on this planet I'm going to have to give you first place. You've always been a monster buzz supporter.
Well, it's because you showed it to me right off the bat, and I was like,
Well,
here's
not
another
only
thing.
that. Go
I
ahead.
took the chance because I went down there and I said, this is not the kind of guy that's going to bullshit you. When you told me what it could do and what I could do, I knew you weren't just saying it, because you were the kind of guy that would say, hey, you probably need to find something else, you know. You were going to shoot me straight, you know, and I love that about you. And I remember thinking, wow, anybody should be able to make that work if what he's telling me is true. And I know it's true because I know this guy is not just saying this. I could just tell, you know.
Right.
And it really is. I mean, I stay busy and I hardly ever post, because I shared the little buzz outline with a couple of realtors going on 3 years ago, and they're still posting. I just posted a $170,000 contract in the group that I just got in from a guy that I taught how to do this.
I hadn't seen that yet. I was on the way back from seeing Mom. So yeah, awesome.
I did it.
Congratulations. I love it.
You know, I love to post myself because that's, you know, you get that pre-approval and you can go get you some realtors and stuff. But these guys keep you so busy, so you don't even have to do it, you know, and it's so easy to do. You could literally pay a 10, 12-year-old, you know, one of your children to do the posting part. They can make $10 an hour and you probably make an extra 50 grand that year just off of what they did.
I've got, you know, it's funny you say that. I have a lot of real estate agents, a lot of loan originators. Of course, that's who I started training first, even though it just definitely works for every business out there. But I've got a lot of them that has hired their family, that has hired their kids to do exactly what you said, because it is simple. Once you learn how to use a text replacement, and once you figure out what you're going to say, it's not rocket science from that point. Now it's pretty simple. It's just going out there and getting into groups and doing it. And like you said, I try to convince every realtor and every loan originator to have that same kind of mentality, that kind of mentality of, I can reach out to any loan officer, I can reach out to any realtor, and I can show them this. I can show them the power of the buzz. And next thing you know, they just get super slammed with endless clients. And then they appreciate you for it, because I know Phyllis, for example, Phyllis and me kind of clashed at first. And she even says, hey, Marty's a little difficult to deal with, but one thing's for sure, he means great, he means well, and he will have you covered up with clients. But ever since, you know, she has always been a huge buzz supporter. She's always given me shout outs out there, you know, and she loves working with you. And that was a big part of it, you know, is even Neil said that yesterday on his Zoom, was it's you got to cultivate the relationships. You don't just meet somebody, message them, and then not keep a conversation going with them, not keep them in the loop, not help them. You know, it's all about.
Well, that's why the messengers, man. I don't even know how I could do this business without, you know, the messenger groups and the way we do it, you know, all involved in the whole buzz process, because, man, it's just the greatest communication tool that we have. And listen, I shared this is when I was still so new. And I took that buzz outline and I shared it with Tristy Bankston. And she asked me like 3 questions. Within 2 months, that second month was a month and a half of June 2018. She brought in over 200 applications in 1 month. You're talking about buried. But I mean, look, that is the best problem in the world to have. When I was thinking about coming into business, like, well, where am I going to find all these people? You know, that has been that's nothing. You just go out there and post. And for anybody coming on board, what I tell them right up front, and I know that's what we all do, is, you know, applications take care of everything. I mean, you could be an expert loan officer, know how to do everything. But if you don't have applications, it doesn't matter. But if you're bringing in a whole bunch of applications, those are going to turn into contracts. We'll help you get the rest done, and you'll learn and figure out everything falls into place, right? And that's why I focus on teaching them and showing them even before I hire them. Look, there's something we're going to teach you that's, you know, you could teach a 12-year-old to do it. And that right there will take care of everything else, and you'll be able to learn the rest with our training, you know. And I'm so confident about it because I know not only did I do it, but I see so many people come in here making $20,000 a month, $25,000, you know, for instance, like Christian Blackwell, she was still in the learning curve. I mean, she knew a lot of it. She was doing great, but at that point, you're still learning because there's so much to do, but you're still making so much money if you follow the buzz formula. And getting back to you, look, when you have somebody that always tells you what you want to hear, that's an enabler. You get addicted to that. You cannot grow that way. You're the kind of person, is the kind of leader that we need, is what I learned. When you have someone that knows what's best for you because they've been in it for 20 years, and they're not going to sit there because they're worried about how you're going to feel about it. So they're not going to tell you the truth, right? I've grown so much because you cared enough to call something out or point something out or get frustrated with this. I mean, you know, I'm saying if you wouldn't have done that, I would have never realized whatever mistake I was making or whatever. And that's the kind of people you need. You don't want someone that's going to tell you everything you want to hear, because you can't grow that way.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I know we've had some times where even I've hurt your feelings a little bit, you know, and you're like, but then you realize it. You realize, okay, yeah, Marty's just trying to say, hey, I need to step it up, you know, and I tell you, but you're
I always knew that, but I've learned more and more that you don't want to have someone, because if you got someone that's doing that, they're not being honest with you. They're letting half that stuff that they notice slide right on by.
Well, in our industry too, when it comes to the real estate world, whether you're on the mortgage side or whether you're on the realtor side, you've got to be able to take the hits, because when you're dealing with these clients who a lot of times are simply just trying to save rent money. Most of the time, they're just trying to save a little rent money. And so they're putting a little bit more pressure to getting these loans closed quicker, so they don't have to pay that extra month's rent, you know, and just explaining to them, hey, you're not going to have to make a payment for 2 months once we get this loan, once we get you closed. Usually it takes off a little bit of that stress, but you still, it seems like the loans can go absolutely perfect. And if it wasn't for that messenger and that communication, that's what really relieved the stress for me, because otherwise nobody knew what was going on. And I was getting blamed for a lot of stuff, you know, and a lot of times it would be the appraiser taking forever. It would be the clients. That was the number one reason these loans take the longest, is the client. And you'll admit that too, that when you've got a client, when you ask for, hey, oh, by the way, I need to get your last 2 paycheck stubs, you know, because it's been a while since we got this process started.
Right.
You've got those clients that are Johnny on the spot. You'll have it right as soon as you get done asking the question. And then you got those other clients like this guy used to be, where it might take me a week to get those 2 paycheck stubs to you. Well, that week in the mortgage world, oh Lord, that week could cause us 2 weeks. Easy.
And it adds up, because the seller might cause a delay, then the buyer might cause a delay, and all that. And all they see is, they don't even notice all that, you know.
Right.
The messenger groups, especially with the realtors too. I mean, I'm spoiled because I've always had it, but I've thought about what it would be like without that. And it really saves the day so many times, you know, keeps everybody, you know, it's all a team. I mean, even on the seller side, you know, everybody, we all need each other to get this thing done, you know, and that really helps keep everybody in the loop.
That is awesome.
I really appreciate it.
And I think I called you out when I first started this, but just to make sure that everybody knows, this is Tim McGee. He is a branch manager / recruiter for me in Gallatin. Well, it was Gallatin, Tennessee. Now you moved to, what is the town name?
McMinnville. Yeah.
Yes. And did we have a McMinnville group at one time, or a couple of McMinnville groups? Seems like we did. I can't remember if we did or not now, but it seems like I got some groups around that area. But you went from not being in the mortgage industry to getting into the mortgage industry, and we met in November 2017 or somewhere in that area. Mm-hmm. And now since then, you are a monster recruiter. You have actually brought down, I don't know how many people you think so far.
I think about 50 of the 92 we have.
And that's people who left their career or was looking for another career. And then you showed them what I showed you, hey, this is legit. We're helping people. We're changing people's lives, you know, and you can make a lot of money while you're doing it, making people happy at the same time. But you've got to be able to handle that commission only. But you went out there and you've used these Facebook groups as a recruiter, and you've got us 40 or 50 people easy. I know. Yeah, I think you're
Oh yeah.
sugarcoating a little
And
bit,
that's
but
the
I
thing.
know
I
we
mean,
got,
I'm just
and that's
scratching
still
the
awesome.
surface.
Yeah, and I know you got a lot more people that are still taking their tests, that are still, you know, to become a loan originator. I tell everybody, hey, go take your 20-hour safe class. Call Aaron and Jim up at My Mortgage Trainer. Go take your 20-hour safe class. Pass that federal exam, and then you're almost there. That's the hardest part of it, and even harder than I'd say it was than when I was a realtor back in the day. You know, it took me twice to pass that test, but that test, it took me, I had to have 60 hours of training. So it was 2 weeks instead of just that 4 days that they knock out now. And so it's easier to become a loan originator. And I tell people, they ask me, what's the difference? What would you say the biggest difference is? And I would say your time. I think you, Tim, I tell everybody, you don't work for Marty Human or Dave or Southwest. You work with us, but you're
Exactly.
able to get up. You're able to do what you want to. Go see your mom,
Total
spend
freedom
time
and
with family.
flexibility. It
You
is.
got freedom, and
It's the most flexible
that's the
job I've
key.
ever had. It's the most rewarding job. And even when I'm recruiting, I've never once thought, oh, I'm going to make some money off this person. I never think about it. I think I'm excited to tell them, look, man, this is an amazing. I mean, there's probably some jobs as good or better. I don't really know what they are. Maybe if you have your own successful business and you got it going, you got other people doing the work. But I know it's one of the best. And usually everyone I'm talking to, they've never had anything like it, just like I haven't. So I know that it is just a life-changing, first of all, being able to work from anywhere in the world from your phone or computer, right? Having a complete flexible schedule, right? But being able to do something that you enjoy that's rewarding, because even when it's really, really hard, I'm really busy, I'm able to do it because I don't really feel like I'm working so much, you know?
Right.
It's like, hey, I got to help this person get a house. Plus, I know I get to work when I want, where I want, and I get to make this incredible amount of money for doing what I do. So it's more like a mission, really, than a job, which I've never had anything like that. But when I'm talking to someone that's not used to that, they're used to working for someone else, having someone that tell them abusive bosses, never be able to see their family, can't make ends meet. There's just so many great things about this. Plus, you get to change people's lives. I mean, you're able to help someone not only have a home for them and their family, but you're able to help them, most people, save more money than they'll ever be able to save in their life by buying and paying off a home, you know, buying the right house at the right price at the right time, and, you know, teaching them how to buy it and get that thing paid off. Because, you know, that gone forever rent money, it never ends. It only goes up. But you buy a house, you get it paid off.
And speaking of buying a house, now you've been with us since September or November 2017, somewhere in that area, we said. And now here we are during one of the craziest years we've ever had. But we're in September of 2020. Time's flying, almost October. And you now have bought your house.
Yeah, I bought it right in the middle of Corona. And the only reason I didn't buy it before is because I had to wait because, you know, it's straight commission. You got to wait till it qualifies.
Yep.
But
I went through that same thing when it comes to refinancing. A lot of people don't understand that too. You know, when you go to a commission only job, they're going to want to see 2 full years filed because they want to see what that average is, you know. But yeah, so thanks to the buzz, thanks to Southwest Funding and coming to work with us, and really more than anything, more importantly, thanks to your hard work, you've knocked this out. You know,
I got another important point. I don't want to forget this. You get in the mortgage, and you told me this too one time. You get in the mortgage industry, there's jobs everywhere. Processors, I get offered jobs constantly, all the time. Branch manager, loan officer from all these different companies, and I'm sure a lot of them are great. I could go anywhere, but you and David and our team, but you and David are our leaders here, and plus Southwest Funding. But you guys give us the flexibility, you give us the training, and this is home, this is family. So, I mean, if they come in, no matter who they go to work for, I believe it's going to be great for them, right? But we've got a great team here, and I'm proof of it. I could go somewhere else like that if I wanted to.
Oh yeah, no question at all.
So could Neil, so could anybody, but we're not going anywhere. But it's nice to have a job security. It's kind of like being a nurse. You're get in the medical field, you can get a job anywhere, any state.
And that's a good point that a lot of people don't think about too, Tim. You're right. It is, you are now in a career, and not one company ever is going to define who you are. And that's kind of what I've always said. I'd be successful. I always was successful at the businesses or the branches I worked for. No matter how shady I thought the company was or how bad I thought the company was, I always just try to do better by finding a better company. And Southwest Funding, now I've been here for 7 years, right at 7 years. And it's just been a solid company. I mean, it's been a very flexible, very good company to work for.
Yeah, I love Southwest Funding. And so that's another plus, because we've got this great team. Then we work with Southwest Funding. It's great. But I want to make a couple of really important points. There is so much business out there that if I hired 1,000 loan officers, all of them could make money. It's not going to be saturated. There's so many people out there that want to buy a home that need like a mortgage coach, somebody consult to help them. Hey, am I approvable? Can I get?
And where do we find these people at again, Tim?
Hey, I found them all on Facebook.
Would they be on the Facebook groups, you think, maybe?
Yeah.
I try to tell everybody, these are real people. When a Facebook group's got 50,000 people in it, do you honestly think 50,000 people won't qualify to buy a house? No, somebody's going to qualify.
I've met people that within 2 months of that post or less, they're in their own home and they had no idea they could even buy a home.
Yes.
Because in the back of their mind, they knew, I probably need to buy a home one day.
How do I make it happen? Because in high school, high school may have changed since my days, in your days, but I don't remember ever being taught that in high school. And even when I was a real estate agent, I still didn't quite understand what was happening on the loan side. And that's why I've always tried to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
Huh?
I was saying I bought several houses and I still didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah. Because you got them kind of leading you, telling you what to do. Hey, send me your income docs. Okay. But you didn't really know the process of it. You didn't know what was really happening when it was happening. Where now in the messenger groups, we're able to keep our client, everybody, the realtor, loan officer, processor, everybody in that know. So it's running a lot smoother, a lot less stress. And then when we change those cartoon houses to symbolize where we are in the process, well, the great thing about that is as a branch manager and you having people underneath you and you can see the loans, you see them changing the cartoon houses to green up, they got a contract in, but yeah, just having that whole, just the ability to be able to communicate and carry on as many conversations as we can carry on because of Messenger, because, before the Messenger, you couldn't do it.
I wouldn't even want to know, man.
You wasn't allowed to call or text or anything after 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I think it's 9 o'clock. And so now you'll probably attest to this, even though I don't know, you may go to bed a little early, but a lot of people are messaging at 12, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. They don't stop. Absolutely.
Yeah. And they know Facebook is kind of like voicemail, we'll read the message and get back to them. Right. But I did want to make a very important point about most mortgage companies do not have the training that we have. And I'm not just saying that, because I don't play around with this. I was not ready for that divorce, and my ex-wife are friends and everything, but I just wasn't prepared for that. And it was able to turn things around for me so quickly, but then to be the best job I've ever had. But anyone can come in here, and we've seen person after person after person. And if they just follow the system that anybody that we could teach a 12-year-old to do, they will start bringing in all these applications, and we'll use those applications and teach them how to analyze those and approve them and give the approval letters, and they'll turn into contracts, and they'll start bringing in money. And the reason it won't get saturated is because a lot of loan officers don't make it, or they never get into the industry because they won't hire anybody unless they're experienced.
Right.
And then their training isn't like ours.
Right.
That I know.
And we use the Google Classrooms for our, just throw his point out there real quick, for our Southwest funding branches. And we also use them for the Buzz. So I've got 10 Google Classrooms I built for the Buzz, and we also built 3 Google Classrooms we built for Southwest funding. Now, you, Tim, since you've used those classrooms for a while, do you think they're pretty solid, been pretty helpful?
Oh, it's amazing because the person comes in here, they're on their own schedule, they're working from home, their computer and their phone, and they can access the training when they need it and the part of the process where they're at to get them through that part. Plus, they can call us and we can, answer their questions and things like that. But someone can come in here without any experience at all, just like Tristy Bankson did, for example. She didn't know what she was doing, and 200 applications came in within a month of me showing her how to do that. Now, you tell me that's not going to turn into some money right there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And anybody can do that. And there's so many people that are in the market to buy a house, that want to buy a house. Refinance is just not ever going to be saturated because most people won't get to where they need to be able to take advantage of that money. But we show somebody how to do that. We hold someone's hand while they get past the learning curve, but they don't have to know how. We don't go, oh, you got an application, you got a contract, we'll just figure it out. We show them how to get that in. And while they're learning that, we show them the rest all the way down with their own application and their own client they're going to make money with. Right. But I take it very serious because most of these people I talk to are where I was. They need something. This is serious. When you need a job, or you're in a dead-end job, or you're in a struggling financially, your life seems to be just slipping away, and you can find something like this, it's life-changing. And then you help people. I mean, think about it. If you pay $1,200 a month and you just keep renting and renting and renting, in 30 years, that's $432,000 down the drain.
Yeah.
Teach someone to buy the house early, they can have that house paid off twice,
Right.
One of the number one things that millionaires have in common is they pay off the mortgage because that frees up the most cash that they have going out. But it's just amazing, and I really appreciate you telling me to forget about real estate.
Hey, don't totally forget about it. Now you use some of this buzz.
I was like, hey, Marty, that's your money working for you. I can do that too. But I love that you said that, because it was like, what?
Yeah.
And
so
glad I got into it. It has been life-changing. I've been able to change a lot of people's lives. You've been able to change a lot of people's lives. And look, this life's short.
That's right.
And it's nice to have something that you can enjoy doing, you can be proud of, and you can really make an impact financially, with your.
Hey, Tim, did you ever fish any back in the day?
Yeah, I love to fish.
When you're out there fishing for hours and hours and hours and the fish aren't biting, that's kind of a crappy day. It ain't near as fun than it is. It's peaceful. Don't get me wrong. It's always peaceful, but what's more fun when you're throwing the bait out there and you're getting unlimited, and you don't know how big the fish is going to be. You don't know, but you're just getting unlimited fish nonstop. Now, would you think that's pretty comparable to the buzz formula with the Facebook groups?
Absolutely. I mean,
and does it make it fun? Makes it fun. You brought that up a minute ago, and I'm like, yeah, it does.
It comes in so fast that I have over 100 applications right now that are incomplete, that I haven't even had a chance to come follow up with those people. And which is not necessarily a good thing, but it is. The opposite of that would be not be having enough business.
Right.
So I've got so much business, I can't keep up with it all. And it's been that way every month since I've started.
And that was 3 years ago. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. We've been doing this for 6 years, 7 years now with these Facebook groups.
In a worldwide lockdown, pandemic, all this stuff going on. It's been busier than I've ever been since March. So go figure.
Yeah. I mean, it's hey, we're essential. We're essential, baby. and you'll start making and some real money with the buzz and with with the Facebook groups. And now, would you say this right here, Tim, that the Facebook groups would work for any kind of business? I know you're in the mortgage industry and a recruiter at the same time for us, but wouldn't you think that it'd work for any kind of business?
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the buzz for me. It really has nothing to do with the mortgage industry. It's just what we
just so happened to be in it at the time.
It's what we use it for.
Yeah. It led us to this book, and it led me to having one of the greatest cases ever. I don't know if I showed you this case yet, Tim, but Kamikaze made that magic happen.
Nice.
Human energy buzz on it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so it led us to this logo. It led us to my name being right there in the human. But it really is kind of strange if you think about all of that. You helped inspire me to make that magic happen. I don't know if you remember that or not, but that's about the same time I was writing this book.
And you know why I did? Because you showed it to me and it made so much sense. And you were showing me results and you were telling me what you're working on. And I was just like, yeah, do it, man. I could tell you were on to something. You know what I mean? And that's before I really.
And my first book was bad. It was horrible until we went back, because the guy didn't do a great job, Ed, didn't it? I didn't do a great job because
I didn't know it was bad. You should be telling people that. I thought it was great.
No, I still tell people I think it's horrible. But I remember you had listened to it. I think you had told me you had listened to like your computer.
Yeah, I did the voice to.
Yeah.
My favorite one right now is Read Aloud. But any web page or PDF or whatever, you click on that and it reads it to you.
Oh, I didn't know that. Read Aloud. I'd check that out then.
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Read Aloud.
Any web page or download a PDF onto your let's see, any mouses around here.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
And it's called Read Aloud, text to speech.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll definitely have to use that for sure.
To read something or you want to reinforce it, and you can pick
that's the way to do it.
Voices. But anyway, I used Read Aloud and was listening to the book.
That's and I remember you telling me, you just loved it, and I thought, man, that's not. After I went back and reread, I was like, wow. But now since we put the Buzz Quick Start in there, and made it we got more training in it, people are starting to like. I've had multiple people now tell me that they read this book 2 or 3 times. Now that's kind of crazy, to think about that, because I don't really consider myself this big author, nothing like that. Now we are coming out with another book that's, and I know I've been saying that for a little while now, but this pandemic slowed us down too a little bit. This year kind of got us in the back of the training, thinking, okay, let's just start creating more material. Let's just keep creating more material, and let's keep updating these Google Classrooms and keeping our Buzz team members happy. And so far, I think we've done a pretty good job.
Oh man, I've never worked for another company, but I just know we've got the best training out there. I'm not afraid to hire anybody new. I love to hire someone new because I know the way we teach them. First of all, we have the Buzz formula, a way to bring in unlimited interested buyers. Okay. That was the first thing. That's when I remember thinking, man, anybody can make that work. You know what I mean? If you got unlimited amount of interested people coming in, you can sort through that and get some people approved to go out and buy a house.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's just been amazing. I kind of lost my train of thought.
Oh, you're good.
Well, no, because this point I wanted to make, if you are a loan officer or someone that's not in the industry at all, but you're looking for a career, we can take anybody, we can take you or anybody, and we can show you how to follow this step-by-step, very simple system, okay? You've got to work, you've got to put in the time, but you've got to work at any job. But when I'm telling you this is very enjoyable and very rewarding work, and when you can make 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 grand a month, because anybody can do what Neil did. Now, I say that, all you got to do is do what he did, okay? If you do what he did, you're going to do the same thing, right? Like you said, he's got a great support team, but he did put the work in and he used our systems and the business is out there, right? And there's plenty of people. I know people make $100,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Mortgage insurance. They don't work for our company, but you know, they've got a team of about 3 people.
Right.
I'm talking about loan officers.
Right. Right.
But we can show you how to do it, get you past the learning curve. But while you're not going to know what you're doing at first, but it doesn't matter. We can show you one step at a time, and you can start bringing that money in very quickly. And then by your 6 months, 7 months, every month goes by, you're becoming an expert more and more and more. But you don't have to be an expert, because we're the experts. We're going to hold your hand. You just do
surrounded by a great team, and that's the key.
Yeah, we're going to show you how. We're going to support you, and then you will grow into that. All these things that you don't know, you might ask about them 2 or 3 times. We might show them to you 2 or 3 times, and then you learn it, and now you know how to. You become independent, right? And then you can leverage us, but you won't be dependent on us as far as what to do to make your money.
Right.
And you've got it's the most flexible, most freedom, and most flexibility of any job I've ever had. It's a very rewarding, life-changing income. I mean,
so everybody out there, when you're watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, reach out to Tim McGee if you are in Tennessee, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, Colorado, Indiana, Kentucky. We can open a branch in Kentucky. Yeah, I think I covered most of our states.
Or a realtor too, because we can change your life. Because the buzz formula, I mean, I'm not going to go into it, but when I can show a realtor an outline, she can ask me 3 questions. In her second month, bringing over 200 applications. Tell me you wouldn't like that.
That's exactly. Life-changing, life-changing.
Many people have done
that. All right, Tim. Well, hey, you have a great day, man. I'll let you get back at it. Good job on bringing that other contract in. That's amazing, amazing. Keep recruiting. Keep bringing them in. I want
to tell you, I really appreciate you getting me into this and, helping make sure I hung in there and got past the learning curve. And
you've done great, man. You're an all-star. There ain't no doubt about that. And I brag about you all the time, just like I brag about Neil. I brag about Landon. We've got a solid foundation.
Yeah, and let's not forget David DeWitt.
Oh yes. I was telling Neil yesterday. I said, Lord, if it wasn't for David, Dave knocking these. He is great. He is absolutely amazing.
Everybody. It's not just David. It's our
yeah. Well, he's amazing at being able to get on the phone and call the underwriters and talk to them and explain the situation and get those loans done. And it really is. That's a monster support. You got to have that kind of support around you. You got it.
Loan originator guru, man.
That's right.
Both
all right. Tim, would you recommend the buzz? Just say yes. You don't have to go into another conversation. Just say yes.
No, I mean, you've got to try it. Don't just take my word for it. But I don't care what kind of business you have. If you need customers and you need to advertise your product and get the word out there, it's amazing.
Get your name out there quick. That's
never seen anything like it.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.